All right. Do I have a motion that we accept these deferrals? Somebody got a disposition on that?
Wilden, motion to accept.
Do I have a second?
Neely, second.
It's been moved by Wilden and seconded by Neely. All those in favor of accepting these deferrals, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, that leaves us the opportunity to get forward on this. Do we now have the staff online? Let's do introductions for the folks who are online out there, and go for it, guys.
Travis Miller with CDOT.
Drew Ritter, CDOT.
Isaiah Washington, CDOT.
Thank you very much for joining us. And you tried to get out of it, but hey, we roped you on in. That's the way that works. We'll begin our meeting tonight with item number 4 on the agenda, rezoning petition number 2023-130 by the Charlotte Planning, Design, and Development Department. It is a text amendment, and it says there's our staff resource. Sandra Montgomery is going to do the do. So Sandra, are you going to do the do? Oh. Okay. Kevin is going to be Sandra tonight. All right.
If only I could feel those shoes. I'm not sure I quite match up.
Okay.
Good evening, zoning committee. Thank you for hearing us this evening. This is text amendment number 2023-130. It is the second UDO cleanup text amendment. As I'm sure some of us may have heard from time to time, the UDO is a living document, and as such, as we go forward with it, on occasion, we will need to make adjustments to ensure that it is achieving desired outcomes and it is functioning in a better fashion. And that is what planning staff had committed to. This text amendment comes through some identified technical changes that were discovered by staff and hearing feedback both from internal and external stakeholders. Excuse me one second. And so among those technical adjustments that are put forward in this proposed text amendment is the specification of an affordability period for affordable housing bonuses. It refines and clarifies the standards for driveways in the parking area for Plex buildings, requires accessory structures to be located on the same parcel as the principal structure they serve. It corrects an oversight in the ratio for maximum and minimum vehicle parking requirements for places of worship. There was one minor change from the public hearing to the petition put forward to you tonight. That is a correction to a staff error where the footnote for table 8.1 was previously labeled incorrectly. And so that correctly clarifies the correction from the public hearing correctly clarifies the applicability of lot standards at the foot of that table. In the petition, you'll note that this is highlighted by neon green highlighting. It also allows, this text amendment allows for multifamily stack development to front on common open space. Next slide, please. Additionally, it provides greater flexibility in parking structure design. It adjusts prescribed conditions for some uses, specifically neighborhood commercial establishment, restaurant and bar, and accessory drive-through, including for outdoor entertainment being prohibited as an accessory use in a neighborhood 1 zoning district. It addresses many quality of life code enforcement concerns regarding vehicle parking and storage, renames and reterms drive-through facility in the UDO as an accessory drive-through, creates a new use category, commercial fitness center, and provides an electronic sign permission for private recreation clubs. Finally, following up a little bit on the reterming of accessory drive-throughs, we further clarify that we felt that there was a clarification needed to specify that it needed to be both located and in operation on sites to be able to continue forward. This is not applicable in the commercial and MLO zoning districts. It adds in that clarification for accessory drive-throughs that a minimum of 24 seats indoor, outdoor shall be required. Clarifies the sidewall height for residential buildings may not be increased by increasing the side setback. Updates the illustration for sidewall heights, modifies the text, and makes minor changes to standards to provide additional clarity. Adds a time period that was lacking for temporary uses, which may not be listed in the use matrix. Also clarifies the approach when there's a conflict between standards. Clarifies and adds general definitions in Article 2, and clarifies the limitation of uses and structures in the setback. Staff is recommending approval of this petition. We find it to be consistent with the 2040 Comprehensive Plan. A major document such as the UDO does require adjustments and revisions after adoption to correct errors, add clarity, and adjust use permissions and prescribed conditions. This proposed text amendment will make the UDO a more user-friendly ordinance and result in better functionality. Next slide. This is a potential consistency statement. With that, that concludes staff presentation, and we may remain ready for discussion and any feedback or questions.
Thank you. Kevin, do we have any questions, comments from staff or from the commission? If none, do I hear a motion to adopt this petition and approve its consistency statement?
Oh, sorry, I need my script. I apologize.
Wilden, motion to approve. Thank you. I'm struggling today. This petition is found to be consistent with the 2040 Comprehensive Plan based on the information from the staff analysis. So I want to motion to approve.
Russell second.
It's been moved by Wilden, has been seconded by Russell. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? If not, that motion passes. Thank you. We're on to item number 5 on our agenda, which is rezoning petition number 2023-118 by the city of Charlotte. And before we do this, can I ask staff, do we have our printed adoption consistency statement doodahs? Thank you very much.
I messed that up. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Okay, yeah, and I have it on my computer somewhere, but hey, Raquel is my favorite staff person. Thank you very much. We'll go on to rezoning petition number 2023-118 by the city of Charlotte, and Joe Mangum is the person that's going to take us through this one. So go for it, Joe.
Thank you. This petition is right at 38 acres located at the intersection of Wilkinson Boulevard and Little Rock Road, just north of Charlotte Douglas International Airport. Current zoning is a mix of ML1 and ML2. It's within the airport noise disclosure overlay. The requested zoning is Regional Activity Center, maintaining that airport overlay. The 2040 policy map calls for Regional Activity Center for the majority of the site, innovation mixed use for a small portion of the eastern end of the site. So it is largely consistent, and staff recommends approval. I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Joe. Does anyone have any questions for Joe on this particular petition? Commissioner Lansdale.
Joe, you mentioned that in the petition that it will accommodate the Silver Line. I know that's kind of out there, like next Tuesday or something that's going to happen, but how can you maybe give a detail or two about how that will accommodate the Silver Line? Is the setback, is there entrance, or?
I'm not sure that specifically mentioned the Silver Line. There is a proposed station, as you can see on the map there, but it is a conventional petition.
Right.
I would expect that the airport would work with CATS at such time to preserve corridor, but that might be a question specifically for the petitioner of the airport.
Well, I think I'm looking at the summary here in the active projects for the CATS Silver Line, the light rail line to be located on the north side of Wilkinson Boulevard. And I just want to make sure I understood that that was the case for setback, and that everything was in place for the Silver Line if and when that happens. And that may not be for today, just wanted to follow up.
That might have been the CDOT memo that you're referencing?
It's the staff analysis for the transportation section.
So I'll defer that question to CDOT.
And might be for Jake then.
That
one, how?
typically,
Yep. Thank you, Isaiah.
typically the active projects that we have are just showing what projects are going to be within the vicinity. During permitting, we ended up working with CATS and the developer to try to coordinate that. But this is just more of a heads up that this is something that's supposed to be coming, just so everyone's aware. Since there's no site plan in this convention.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions, issues, concerns? I gotta,
I honestly just wish there was more information because this is, I mean, I think I know what this is, but I don't really have a confirmation.
yeah. I would ask about, this is Regional Activity Center. Are there setbacks or concerns that have already been baked into what Regional Activity Center is that would work with the train align or the rail alignment or not? And I don't know if that question can be answered in this discussion, and maybe somebody can tell me that it can or can't.
Yeah, I mean, there are provisions for protection of right-of-way and easements for future, so like there's setbacks that are measured from future transit stations.
Okay.
That are built into that. This project would go through a follow-up and subsequent RFP process where they would likely have more of that information on what it's going to be. This is just to get it zoned and in place for them to then flesh out with a master developer on what they are looking for and what they want to get out of the project. Which is not atypical for airport rezonings. When they go to the industrial stuff, it's conventional, and then they go through RFP process to inform council of who's proposing development on the site, et cetera. Something like this would then go through that process on the back end to plan out what they want to develop there. But it is to continue to support airport itself, but also create kind of a destination area around the airport, from what we understand for what the goal of the project is. But this would just get them zoned, and then they can work through the RFP process with council to go through the details of it.
Okay, thanks. Jake?
And I'll just add that there is some provisions in the UDO and sort of the transportation sections for rapid transit corridor reservation areas.
Okay, so if we had, and this is basically just for information for this committee, if we had a regional activity center that popped up somewhere along the, I hear there's going to be a Silver Line, somewhere along that corridor, but it wasn't the airport, there would still be a reservation in that provision for transit. So, hopefully, this could come up again, obviously, in the future. Until that line is.
So none of that would be done during the rezoning portion, but there is, requirements baked into
Okay.
the UDO for when they come in, when they have to reserve the right of way for those corridor areas.
Okay, I'm good with that. Anybody else?
Just a quick follow-up, and just maybe the intent, appreciate the clarification and your follow-up question as well. But I look back at Scaly Bark and the developments that occurred at the Scaly Bark station. This kind of delayed design features associated with next to existing light rails. And I think there's some things we can do better. I just want to make sure we had that conversation now rather than later. Thanks.
Ceiling?
And I mean, with this project, what's throwing me off is there is like an existing plan here. I would think this is what the airport's calling their Gateway CLT district as part of like an innovation corridor, like sharing some of the information about that from what I, as a commissioner, can piece together, I think just makes sense in this scenario. I'm not saying I'm not going to support this because I do know what it is, or at least I'm pretty sure I do. But I just wish there was more context here because it's very clearly available. I pulled it up on my computer. So.
Mr. Winokur, did I see?
No, I did not. I rubbed my eyes. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. And
A bit prematurely on the.
Commissioner Winokur's eyes no longer need rubbing. And I think we can go home now, pretty much. Thank you, everyone. Do I have a motion for the disposition of item number 5 on our agenda, petition 2023-118?
This is Lansdale, having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition, I move we recommend the approval of petition number 2023118 as appears before us and the adoption of the consistency statement as appears before us.
Second, Seeley.
It's been moved by Lansdale and seconded by Seeley. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? That passes 7-0. We're on to item number 7 on our agenda. No, number 6. 6 on our agenda, sorry. I was proactively adding. Rezoning petition number 2021-085 of Raven Properties Group LLC. And Joe, this is your baby again.
Thank you. This is approximately 5.86 acres located on the east side of China Grove Church Road, south of Westinghouse Boulevard and north of Blue Rail Way. Current zoning is mostly ML1. There's a little ML2 to the north and N1B to the south of the property. Proposed zoning is I2 conditional. The 2040 policy map recommends manufacturing and logistics for most of the site, with the portion in the south recommended for neighborhood 1. The proposal is for all uses permitted in the I2 district, specifically calling out is allowable outdoor storage trucking company, trucking operations, truck and trailer repair and maintenance, trucking logistics and office uses, storage of trailers and trucks. Floor area ratio will be limited to 0.8. Allows for up to 7 principal buildings in addition to accessory buildings and structures. Maintains 3 existing driveways from China Grove Church Road. Commits to implementing 8-foot planting strip and 8-foot sidewalk along China Grove Church Road, except where that would conflict with the existing off-street parking. Establishes a 30-foot setback along China Grove Church Road and provides a 91-foot Class A buffer along a portion of the site's southern boundary, as you can see on the screen. Staff recommends approval upon resolution of outstanding issues related to site and building design. One of those issues regarding providing a tree survey, I understand the petitioner is working on. Another will be rescinded. It relates to illustrating the street trees to be put along China Grove Church Road. There's a conditional note that accounts for that. There is one outstanding issue, and that is regarding a staff request for buffer along if we go back, Emma, to the previous slide. For the area closest to the building in China Grove Church Road, staff is requesting a buffer there. It is not required. The previous zoning administrator had ruled that area had been grandfathered in, but staff is maintaining a request for a buffer there. And we've been in communication with the petitioner. That is ongoing. I'll be happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Joe. Winokur?
If the petitioner is here, I would move to suspend the hearing to hear an update on the request for that buffer.
Okay. If you will make that into a motion, then we can work with it.
I move that we suspend the hearing so that the petitioner can give us an update on the request for the buffer requested by staff.
Second, Seeley.
Moved by Winokur, seconded by Seeley. All those in favor, please say aye. All right, then that one will pass, and we will ask the petitioner to come up and give us an update on the requested buffer.
Thank you, Chairman Welton. Keith McVeigh with Morvan Allen, assisting Raven Properties. We have been in contact with Joe regarding the buffer along that southwestern property line. And we are willing to restrict the use of that parking and drive aisle to passenger vehicles only. That portion of the site has been in existence since that building was built back in the 70s. So it's as Joe mentioned, grandfathered in. It is important part of the operation of the existing building and use. So eliminating that parking and drive aisle is problematic for the petitioner. So that's why we are not able to do that and convert it to buffer. And again, it's not portion of the site that is required to provide a buffer, but we are willing to restrict its use to what it's historically been used for, which is parking for motor vehicles and motor vehicle access versus truck access.
Thank you. Are you good?
I don't have any questions.
All right, we will unsuspend our session. And Commissioner Lansdale, did I see a hand from you?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get my head around the language of this parcel is resolve zoning violations, improving the site from current conditions as was the rationale for recommendation. And then further down, it was stated that, hang on a second, commits to implementing planting strips and sidewalks along China Grove frontage road, except where it conflicts with existing off-street parking. So we have zoning conflicts, code enforcement conflicts that seem to be in opposition of each other for this piece. So I don't really understand the rationale for critical to the use of the parcel when clearly there's parking elsewhere on this parcel. So I'm challenged by this and won't be supporting the petition at this point because of that. Thank you.
We got questions from anyone else? All right, hearing none, do I hear a motion for the disposition of item number 6 on our agenda, 2021-085?
Winokur, I'd make a motion to deny. Having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff, I move that we recommend denial of the petition number 2021-085.
Lansdale, second.
It's been moved by Winokur and seconded by Lansdale. All those in favor, please, wait, in favor of the denial. In favor of the denial, and you will say, yay, I am in favor of the denial, or nay, I am not in favor of the denial. So all those in favor of the denial, please say yay. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All those opposed to the denial, please say nay. Nay. Nay, nay, nay. Shanae is here. That denial goes forward 5-2. Joe, you got that? Yes. All right. Now, do they have to craft a consistency statement for the denial? Yeah, for the majority, which is the denial. So I will either leave, Winokur looks like he's ready to roll.
Parcel is surrounded by developing residential only use. The request by staff for a buffer against the southern boundary is perfectly reasonable and is what would be required for that use going forward.
You good with that, Joe? The nays get to make their opinion known. And Will, do you have something you would like to say there?
Yeah, I would just add that in a city that's growing as fast as Charlotte, that we do need to take consideration for truck repair and truck parking, considering that is a big issue in our city, and that we're going to see more of that with the increase in warehouses and other truck-related activity.
And I would add on to that, that given that this property has been under this use since apparently the late 70s and was grandfathered in by the previous zoning administrator or a previous zoning administrator or whatever, that it's perfectly reasonable for the petitioner to simply meet the standard that has been put in front of them and not necessary for them to go any further. You good?
Yes.
All righty. Everybody good? We're on to number 7 now, for real. rezoning petition number 2021-0 or 209 by Coastal Acquisition Entity. And Joe, I guess you are busy here tonight.
I am.
Yeah.
This petition is just shy of an acre. It's located at the corner of Steel Creek Road and Rigsby Road. Current zoning is N1A. Proposed zoning is NS. 2040 policy map recommends community activity center place type for the site. Proposal would allow for all uses permitted in the NS zoning district, including a 4,000 square foot commercial building with accessory drive-through lane. Access from Rigsby Road and Steel Creek Road will be coordinated with CDOT and NCDOT during permitting. Commits to construction of a right turn lane on Steel Creek Road at Rigsby Road. Will require a drive-through queuing analysis for the AM and PM peak hours to be submitted to CDOT during the permitting phase. Constructs a 12-foot multi-use path along Steel Creek Road, and 8-foot planting strip and 8-foot sidewalk along Rigsby Road. Provides screening of the drive-through lane along Steel Creek Road to include a 3-foot wall. Architectural standards related to, also includes architectural standards related to minimum transparency percentages, blank wall limitations, and minimum building height of 20 feet. And indicates that all lighting will be full cutoff type except for low landscape and decorative lighting. Since the public hearing, and it's been a while since the public hearing, the petition's kind of been caught in limbo with NCDOT projects as well as other rezonings in the vicinity of the site and associated transportation improvements. But since the hearing, the petitioner has addressed outstanding transportation issues and added notes indicating that access issues will be resolved with CDOT and NCDOT during permitting. Staff recommends approval, and I will take any questions.
Thank you, Joe. Sealy.
One thing I was trying to piece together is this a drive-through only use? Or is there an interior as well?
I don't know for sure. The petitioner could address that, but I would imagine just based on the square footage that there would be some interior, more than just a preparation area.
I'm gonna motion to close the public hearing, or
suspend
the public hearing. Yeah, actually, let's go home. No, and so I can ask the petitioner this question.
Do I have a second for that?
Russell, second.
Been motioned by Sealy, seconded by Russell. All those in favor of suspending the public, or Jesus, got it in me now. Suspending the session so that we can ask the petitioner about the use of the 4,000 square foot building.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. All those in favor, please say aye. That passes.
New year, new me.
We're wonderful parliamentarians.
David Murray Law Firm. I represent the petitioner here. The owner of the property now, because this has been pending so long, is my client Dunkin' Donuts, and it will be a full service restaurant use. And so the drive-through is like an accessory. And the biggest problem that I think I can only answer direct questions, but if you have any question about the access issues, I can deal with those too.
What problems have you had with access?
Okay, so the biggest problem that we've had is NCDOT has a widening project planned for Steel Creek. And so the widening project is actually going to probably wipe out all of the improvements that we have planned for this site. On top of that, there was a RAM rezoning of all these that look like houses that people live in. All those properties have been purchased and it's all been rezoned to NS for a multifamily development. And as part of that rezoning, Rigsby Road is actually being shifted to the north to line up with Outlets Boulevard. So there's going to be a lot of transportation improvements that are all taking place, and they all happen to affect our property and our ability to get in and out. And so this took a long time and multiple DOT engineers for us to work through how we could actually get in and out of this site. And so if you drive by it now, it's just an abandoned house. But that's why in our plan, there's a lot of contingencies about potential temporary access points and permanent future access points. When we originally applied, access was going to be shared with the gas station, which is what the future access will be. And Childress Klein is working with that, with us on creating a new driveway for when that DOT widening project takes place. But unfortunately, a lot of this is still kind of up in the air. And so we have enough certainty from CDOT and NCDOT that we're not completely denied access, but there's more than likely going to be a right out onto Steel Creek for a short period of time until the project occurs. Then there will be a joint access that will bring connectivity to the gas station, the Dunkin' Donuts, the RAM development, so that this will all be connected, because right now it's all very isolated and separate. So that's why this took so long.
Thank you. If there's nobody else, I motion to close public hearing.
Thanks. We'll resume our session.
Resume. Yeah.
We'll resume our session. Do we have any other questions, comments? Winokur?
Briefly, so given the, obviously, the massive changes that are going to go on in the area, will the improvements that the petitioner is planning on making, will that happen after? Is that the idea?
Jake, you want to take that one?
So it's all dependent on the timing of when this development moves forward. They move forward first, they'll have to do the right turn lane. If Ram Steel Creek moves forward first, they'll have to do the right turn lane. And if NCDOT comes in first, which is unlikely, they would do I think there's a third lane across the frontage. So it's just whatever stage they're in when they come in for permitting will dictate what they have to complete.
And what about sidewalk pedestrian improvements?
They would have to complete sidewalk and pedestrian improvements. So they would locate those according to the NCDOT project.
All right. Thank you.
Russell.
I heard, Joe, I think I heard you say that there was a queuing analysis of the drive-through traffic that either has not been completed or was pending some other action. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
I'm not sure I can, but I'm sure Jake can.
So given some of the uncertainties with access and everything else, and locating the building is something that CDOT requested prior to permitting to make sure that there's no queue overflow from the drive-through to any of the access aisles or locations. So it's sometimes it's more accurate to look at that during permitting because you know all the variables.
You good? Anyone else? I would like to ask which one of these site plans is the right one? Because up there, there's little red arrows on the top, but the one that says site plan revised 2023, 1219, has a couple of other little doodahs on it, arrows. It may be the next slide after this one, Emma. Yeah, see, we got more arrows there. And
Right, that is the most recent.
this is the most recent?
Right, the previous slide is what we created for the public hearing, which typically doesn't get updated
Okay.
for zoning committee, but we provide the latest revised plan.
All right. All right. Just confused on my part. So, how's everybody? We're good? Questions, comments? Good? Do I hear a motion for the disposition of item number 7 on our agenda, petition 2021-209?
Neely, motion to approve. Having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition, I move that we recommend approval of petition number 2021-209 and the adoption of the consistency statement.
Do I have a second?
Winiker, second.
All right, thank you. It's been motioned by Neely and seconded by Winiker. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. How many ayes did we get there? Got 5. Those opposed, say nay.
Nay.
2 nays. All right, that motion passes 5-2. The nays get to say some naying.
That was hard.
I'll let you do it. I know what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I'm not in support of this petition at this time due to the outstanding transportation issues being too impactful for more to move forward at this time. Also, would like to see the drive-through analysis completed prior to any approval of this petition. Thank you.
Yeah, and I just want to add that this does nothing to add to the connectivity of the area, especially with the new multifamily development, RAM development coming behind it.
All right, thank you. Joe, you got everything you need from that? Good. On to item number 8, everyone. Rezoning petition number 2022-116 by Carmel Hills. Max, good to see. Happy New Year, Max.
Happy New Year. Glad to be here. Petition 2022-116 is located along the southeast side of Carmel Road, west of Colony Road, and east of Moreland Farms Road. The site is approximately 14.46 acres in size and is currently developed with an assisted living and independent living facility. The current zoning is N1A, Neighborhood 1. The proposed zoning is institutional CD, a conditional legacy district. The 2040 policy map recommends the campus place type for this site. The institutional CD district is consistent with the campus place type. A little background, on June 27th, the Charlotte Zoning Board of Adjustment granted 8 variances to correct several setback and buffer encroachments to bring the site into compliance with the zoning ordinance prior to proceeding forward with the rezoning request. The proposal calls for the development of an independent and assisted living facilities related accessory uses, a new wing in the main building containing up to 12,000 square feet and up to 13 new cottage units on the site, and the relocation and addition of some surface parking. The architectural and landscaping standards are in keeping with the existing development and the site as well as the surrounding area. Some transportation improvements are utilizing the 2 existing driveways along Carmel Road for vehicular access, and they're proposing to dedicate right-of-way along Carmel Road up to 35 feet as needed. Staff recommends approval of this petition. This petition is consistent with the campus place type, and the institutional zoning would align better with the policy map, while the development is in keeping with the residential character of the area. Take any questions at this time?
Thank you, Max. There were no outstanding issues?
The outstanding issues have been corrected since the public hearing.
All right. Do I hear any questions, comments? Lansdale?
People are pointing at me in this one. Okay. I think this might be for CDOT, but Jay, can you maybe give some guidance on the resolution of some of the outstanding transportation issues associated with the frontage design on Carmel Road?
So it was the petitioner's request to keep the existing streetscape along Carmel Road. We worked with the petitioner to get them to agree to construct the required planning strip and sidewalk in its ultimate location, with the note that we will work with urban forestry to vary planning strip where appropriate to avoid existing mature trees, but they committed to construct the required lane streetscape across the whole frontage. So
Great, thank you. I need to share a comment on this one for me. You know, when we look at this property, if you can go back to the satellite view, if it's at all possible, the one with the pond. There we go. Want back one more? That's great. So, you know, when we look at the opportunity to improve transportation access from a facility built 50 plus years ago, and a conditional zoning situation that and is really not reflective of the type of scenario we are dealing with today for transportation issues. The loss of tree canopy along the frontage road should be insignificant compared to the redevelopment efforts on this property. So I appreciate staff working with petitioner on this to correct the ills of our past zoning policies and work to preserve the tree canopy, but recognize that this petition is for redevelopment and loss of tree canopy on this parcel. And the insignificant improvements to transportation along the Cromer Road frontage shouldn't be as big of issue as we think it is. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else got any comments, questions? Do you hear a motion for the disposition of item number 8 on our agenda, petition 2022-116?
I'll do it on this one, Jacob, and I have a lot of paving staff on this one. Staff recommending approval.
Russell second.
It's been moved by Lansdale and seconded by Russell. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That one passes unanimously. We're on to item number 9 on our agenda, rezoning petition 2023-012 by Pope and Land Enterprises. And we go back to Joe.
Thank you. This petition is approximately 20.44 acres. It's located in the City Park area. There are 3 different development areas along Yorkmont and adjacent to the farmers market. Is 16 acres. That's development area A. Development areas B and C total 4.43 acres and are located along Tyvola Road. The current zoning is MUD optional, and the proposed zoning is a site plan amendment to that MUD optional zoning. The 2040 policy map recommends community activity center place type for the part in blue, and then neighborhood 1 for the area in yellow. So the site was previously rezoned as part of the larger City Park rezoning. Rezoning area A that's along Yorkmont Road would include 220 townhome, condominium, or single-family units, 300 hotel rooms, and 60,000 square feet of retail. Development area B along Tyvola Road would include 30,000 square feet of retail, 150 hotel rooms, an additional 30,000 square feet of retail that could include convenience store, restaurant, and EDEE uses. And rezoning area C could have 15,000 square feet of retail or office, as well as 100,000 square feet of self-storage. Petitioner is committing to the following transportation improvements: realigning Yorkmont Road for a potential extension by others to Spear Boulevard and Billy Graham Parkway, construction of a roundabout at Yorkmont Road and Spear Boulevard, installation of a traffic signal at Tyvola Road and Spear Boulevard, as well as crosswalk improvements at Tyvola Road and City Park Drive, Tyvola and South Tryon Street, and Tyvola and North Falls Drive. Since the public hearing, the petitioner finalized their traffic impact study and updated conditional notes accordingly. There are no outstanding issues, and staff recommends approval of petition. Take any questions?
Thank you, Joe. Do we have questions? Do we need to process a little bit? Got some processing going on over here. I had one question, Joe, that the petition that, or the partition of the property that is closest to Yorkmont, that was neighborhood 1? And it had been rezoned previously. I thought that whole thing had a uniform zoning, or am I incorrect in remembering that?
It
whole
was
project.
part of the larger 2007 rezoning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure, honestly,
Okay.
why it was captured as neighborhood 1 place type, but
Okay. That just surprised me. So, Commissioner Russell.
Yeah, so question, this is gonna realign Yorkmont Road and then allow Spear to have access to both Yorkmont and Billy Graham? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, it's gonna have an extension to Yorkmont, and they're just reserving the right of way for a potential future connection to Billy Graham. NCDOT was not in favor of, I know this rezoning's been around for 15, 16 years. I think originally this was gonna have a fourth leg to Billy Graham, but at this point in time, all the petitioners doing is reserving the right of way to make the connection in the future.
Thank you, that was helpful.
There used to be an existing connection over to Billy Graham from the farmer's market, didn't there? It's still there? Okay. You can tell I don't go to the farmer's market. It's not that I don't love you farmer's market people, but. Does anyone else have any questions, issues? Commissioner Wilden, do you have anything to say? Never without a loss of words. If not, do I hear a disposition for item 9 on our agenda, rezoning petition number 2023-012?
Commissioner, go ahead. Commissioner Russell, motion to approve, having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition. I move that we recommend approval of petition 2023-012 as it appears before us, and the adoption of the consistency statement as it appears before us.
Do I have a second?
Second, Seeley.
It's been moved by Russell and seconded by Seeley. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That passes 7-0. Thank you very much. We're on to item number 10 on our agenda, rezoning petition number 2023-037 by Shinville Ridge Partners LLC / Courtney Sloan. And Dave, are you doing this one?
I will take these for Claire and also Michael's petitions this evening.
Michael is off loafing somewhere?
No, but okay. I will cover for him.
Okay.
I'm sure
I didn't mean that, Michael. I love it.
That's no problem. All right. So 2023-037, 1.2 acres. It's off Fairview Road, just to the west of the South Park Mall area. Currently zoned N1A, some R12 and N2 and URC zoning in the immediate vicinity. It is neighborhood 1 on the policy map. You can see we've got a good bit of neighborhood 2 in the general surrounding area. We do have some regional activity center just at the bottom corner, which is part of a much larger, we zoomed out, larger regional activity center around the mall. So very much within walking distance of that. There's also a bus stop pretty much right in front of this site as well. The proposal at the hearing was for up to 14 single-family attached townhome units, guest parking, access from one point onto Fairview Road, 12-foot wide multi-use path along Fairview with an 8-foot planting strip. All principal and accessory structures were going to be comprised of bricks, stone, or stucco, cementous siding, hardy plank, other materials, prohibits vinyl, except on things like handrails, windows, soffits, doors, etc. Units that have frontage along Fairview Road would contain a porch or a stoop that would wrap the portion in the front and side of the unit so that it may count towards the required 400-foot private open space. Does limit the number of dwellings in one building to 6 when fronting on Fairview Road. Specifies that units fronting Fairview, they provide blank wall provisions that would limit those blank wall expanses to 20 feet on all levels. Garage doors would not front on Fairview Road. There is a minimum 8-foot wide Class C buffer with the fence along the eastern property line there on the right-hand side of the plan. And then there is the proposal to work with Charlotte Water to partially abandon. There's a 15-foot sanitary sewer main that is easement that's on the back of the property where that potential 10-foot Class C buffer is. So they are going to work with Charlotte Water to potentially abandon that. If they do, they would then be able to provide a 10-foot Class C buffer in that location. Since the public hearing, we have seen some changes. They did add some notes about stormwater for peak flow control for the 100-year 6-hour storm runoff. And they captured that as best they could from some stormwater comments. However, there's still an outstanding issue to help to clean up those comments just a little bit, or those notes, just to change some of the wording, just from a technical side from stormwater. So not a large outstanding issue on that item. They also just made a commitment to contribute a total of $5,000 to the South Park City Homeowners Association, be used for their on-site stormwater mitigation facilities. That would be made prior to the issuance of the first building permit on site. Staff does recommend approval of the petition. We do still have outstanding issues related to site and building design and environment. The environment one is the item from stormwater. That again is really just a cleanup of the wording of their note. I don't think there's any real concern. They're glad to see the note incorporated. They just need to change some of that from 100-year storm no rise analysis to a downstream analysis. So just some terminology. The other outstanding issues are staff looking to still have that property or that buffer along the eastern side of the property to be 10 feet rather than, I believe, the 8 that they're proposing. And then also we'd still like to see, regardless of whether that sanitary sewer easement gets abandoned or not, some type of buffer screening in that location. We have requested that, I believe, since the start of the project. Our thought was shifting some of the buildings initially. That didn't seem feasible from the petitioner's standpoint. I understand they would provide it should that easement get abandoned, but there's no necessarily guarantee that that will happen. So again, we'd still like to see that, but understand that it may not be feasible. But that's still a request that we're making at this time. So those are the outstanding issues, but we do still support the project overall. We'd like to see those issues resolved in some form prior to decision. The stormwater one shouldn't be an issue. The buffers may be something we carry forward even to decision, just because we may be both in some different places on that from staff side and petitioner side. So with that, I'll turn it back over to y'all for any questions.
Thank you, Dave. Got questions from anyone? Commissioner Lansdale.
I got my opinions about the site building design. Having these types of facilities on Fairview Road, just struggle to get my head around that, but that's really not what I try to focus my comments on. But what do we call those things, the streets when they connect with each other with a street in the middle? Intersection. Are there any intersection improvements associated with this site design?
Following the public hearing, we reached out to the petitioner to discuss the left turn lane request. And I will defer to the petitioner to answer where that stands.
I'll hang on to that before we go to the next level. I do have a quick follow-up question as well associated with that. On that ingress and egress, there is no left turn or right. Is it a left turn and right turn allowed in that as well? Or is that associated with the left turn lane on the opposite side of the street? So coming out of this, at the bottom of your screen, you see the 3 trees. Can you make a left turn from the site at that point?
From their driveway access?
On Fairview.
You can make a left turn from their new proposed driveway access onto Fairview heading east. Correct.
Yeah, at this point, I'm having struggle with the outstanding transportation issues with this one. Thank you.
Can I ask a question to clarify? Terry, you said something about a left turn lane. Which direction were you asking about a left turn lane from?
The left turn lane, my assumption would be on Fairview turning left into the property.
Yeah. Do you want to go with the suspending and perhaps listening to the petitioner in regards to this? If someone will make a motion, perhaps, is the petitioner in the room?
Yeah, Winokur moved to suspend in order to ask for clarification from the petitioner for certain transportation improvements and other recommendations and requests made by city staff.
Stated like a true lawyer. All those in favor, it's been motioned by Winokur, seconded by Russell. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All right, we'll have the petitioner come up and address this left turn lane and the staff's request for buffer. Oh, and those two?
Sure. On the left turn lane, and be interested in this group's feedback. So there was a request from staff for us to entertain inserting a new left turn lane here so we could have a left into the site. There's room to do that, but there is currently a median in the middle with a pedestrian refuge. So to put in the turn lane, we would sacrifice the refuge. We're, again, kind of at your pleasure. We think the right of way is there to do it. We could accommodate it. But part of the conversation we were having with some of the Closeborough neighbors is they appreciated the ability to cross. So again, if we had direction of, hey, you guys need to put in a left turn lane, we could do that. If the direction was no, we want to keep the median in the ped refuge, we could do that. So again, we're kind of looking for guidance from all parties. So happy to take your feedback as well. We could accommodate either of those. As for a turn restriction, we could probably live with a right in, right out. It would restrict access across on Closeburn. And so those neighbors might have strong opinions about that. Again, we're open to either of those outcomes. As far as the buffer, essentially, if I think we were asked that question, at the rear, there's 10 feet back there. It just happens there's an old water right of way, which is not used. We can't plant a buffer in it while there's an easement, so we'd like the easement to go away. If it does, we're happy to plant it. If it doesn't go away, there is still this space exists there. We're just not allowed to plant in it.
Is it a Charlotte water easement or is it a stormwater easement?
I think it is Charlotte water, and we think it is inactive.
Okay.
So we think the abandonment shouldn't be a problem, in which case we'll plant it. But the area is there. It's not as if we're building or developing in it. And then the other side, there is essentially 2 feet. Staff is asking for us to increase on this side. There's URC zoning on this side. We don't think it's necessary. Frankly, we're just being squeezed. So, if 2 feet is the be all end all, it's not, maybe we could do it. But we think this is an urban location. It makes sense. We think 8 feet works. We've had no negative feedback from that adjoining property owner.
All right. Thank you very much. Did we get it all? Everybody happy with the answers we got? We'll resume the session and ask more questions of each other. Jake, I wanted to ask you a question about this. I drive this part of Fairview frequently, and at certain times of the day, having a left turn lane in there would seem to not be a good idea. Does CDOT have an opinion one way or another?
A left turn lane would
Going east on Fairview so that you would turn left into this project across the westbound traffic.
So as it currently sits, their access is designed to allow that crossing regardless. And so, it's a minimal amount of units, and the impact to construct a left turn lane can be discussed. If the option is a left turn lane or no left turn lane, addition of a left turn lane would certainly be a safer alternative in this location.
Yeah, I'm disagreeing with that. I appreciate that, but this is 14 times the amount. So I appreciate the references there, but I can't support this without a left turn restriction, ingress and egress from this parcel. Just seeing this stack up, getting to the Fairview Road turn on the Park Road, the incredible urban nature that this portion of the South Park area is becoming, the type of usages for pedestrian and mobility access across Fairview. I just can't figure that CDOT has an approval on this without those restrictions, and that comes from an individual on the zoning board, and his perceptions of this part of this petition. Thank you.
If I can, just one more clarification, Jake. There's no constraints on the entrance exit of this as it is. It is you can turn left or right coming out of this property as is and as is proposed.
You can turn left or right as is proposed currently.
Yeah.
Also, the south side, where this proposed driveway is aligned, currently has
has
full access left or right. And so the two alternatives when locating a access for this site was either to the east of where it's shown currently, which would make it a right in, right out, which also comes with other issues to deal with, such as accommodating U-turns, exiting vehicles, leaving the driveway, and going across to the existing left turn lane that's currently on the westbound approach. And that brings its own set of safety issues. And so, we discussed with the petitioner aligning with the existing access on the south side. And to improve that to add the left turn lane would improve that. I will note that the existing pedestrian mid-block crossing that's located currently in that median could be relocated to the west if a left turn lane was installed.
Okay. Yeah, because there's some trees in that right now. I apologize. I guess I see an asymmetry because across is like Closeburn Road, which is like a real road, and I see this as a driveway. And they're the same in the analysis, I guess, that you've just given me, kind of. Their ability to access Tyvola is the same.
If where it's proposed
Fairview,
currently,
excuse me.
it would have the same level of access as the southern approach.
Okay.
That's existing, because we can't, if it's located at a full access median break, we cannot restrict movements there. Signage is not effective at restricting movements. So to restrict that movement, you'd have to locate the driveway at a different location where there is an existing median.
Okay. All right. I'm good.
I have to have I'm breaking my own rules for coming back again, but Jake, I don't want to put you on the spot here, but do you happen to have from your memory, the average daily traffic volume for Tyvola at this intersection? Sorry, Fairview, thank you. Thank you for the clarification. My apologies. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna put in that with a 30,000 ADV. So again, I'll stop there. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I would like to add as well, and I just want to read something from our 2040 plan when it calls for the mobility section in neighborhood 1, that arterial streets also support walking, cycling, and transit use by providing a safe and comfortable environment to reach transit or nearby destinations. If we are indeed serious about putting in a left turn lane across 30,000 ADV for 14 homes while eliminating a pedestrian connection, I think that is a gross misreading of both the UDO and the comprehensive plan as we just read. We're going to essentially get rid of pedestrian connections in order to accommodate more cars, which is in countervention to what we've been talking about in this whole exercise. And I think that we do need to have that left turn restriction. It's fine with right in, right out. It's only 14 homes. It is not the end of the world. Thank you.
Commissioner Sealy.
Should we vote to approve this, can we put conditions on it? For the
Nope.
right in, right out?
Nope. We can do three things: approve, deny, or defer.
I would motion to defer.
If that's a motion on the table, we can consider it.
Motion to defer, Sealy.
Second, Wilden.
It's been moved by Sealy and seconded by Wilden. A motion to defer this. Do we have to say to a specific date? No? Okay. All those in favor of deferring this petition, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed to a deferral of this petition? So that passes unanimously. We will defer this petition, and I would encourage all those who are sitting at this table, if you have issues, to get with the petitioner, and perhaps we can get to a different place with this before it comes back. I think that, and I will just add editorial here, that Commissioner Russell, he laid the hammer down pretty hard. And so that definitely influenced my opinion on this. And so we've got to remember that we are trying to operate out of that policy framework. Did I just say that out loud? God, put me in a trash can. Yeah, I'm going to become a politician. I am your next mayor. Whatever. Anyway, that one has been deferred. We are on to item number 11 on our agenda, people. And this is rezoning petition number 2023-045 by Grubb Properties. And Dave, you will handle this one as well.
All right, this petition 2023-045, it's like 10.6 acres on Park Road in the Montford area, just off of Park and Abbey and Hedgemore, Mockingbird, that large master development that's occurred there. It is currently zoned MUD optional. They are looking to do a site plan amendment to that existing MUD optional zoning district. It is part of the Community Activity Center around Park Road and Park Road Shopping Center. The proposal was originally approved in 2016, allowed a mix of uses, commercial, ground floor retail, and up to 450 multifamily dwellings. This request just affects Development Area C, which is right there at the corner of Park Road and Mockingbird Lane. The request would be to increase those residential units from 450 to 550, building footprint. All of the other aspects of the project remain the same. It is just an increase in units by 100 additional that's being proposed. Staff does recommend approval of the petition. It is consistent with the policy map recommendation for the activity center, and we will take any questions that you may have for us. Yep.
I have a confusion. On the site plan that is listed, it's got development. You said we were asking to go from 450 to 5.
Yep.
The site plan is development area D completed 288 units. Area E completed 285 units. Pretty sure that adds up to more than 150. Where this site plan, a little bit challenged. Where are these 100? And we seem to be already past.
Good question. Let me take a look back at the old plan that's on there. Let's see.
You know, I think this was the old site plan. That's what I think. So I was confused. You guys are supposed to say, no, it couldn't be Udola.
It's not here.
Thank you. Feel so much better now.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That there were conversions, and I figured that's what it was when the math didn't math, that there were conversions from hotel uses and commercial uses to residential uses that were probably used to capture those additional units beyond the number that was listed. So you have 450 base, but then there's conversion of certain square footage to those residential uses not to exceed X. That's where the increase happened. And so now we're looking to push that up to that 550 in total. So, and there still would be some of those conversion rights. If
So the 100 units will only be in development area C.
That is my understanding. We do have, again, the petitioner representative here if we want to just get clarification on that, but that is my understanding is that development area C is the focus of where that increase would occur. Yeah.
Thank you, Dave.
Yep.
So this is Commissioner Neely. I'm going to request that the rules be suspended so we can get more information from the petitioner regarding the development of Area C.
I've got a motion. Do I have a second? All those in favor, please say aye. All right. The petitioner is up there, and our question is pretty simple. Where are these 100 units going to be?
That's correct. That development area, which is the last undeveloped area really the floor plate does not change. It's kind of in the 10 years since this rezoning, units have gotten smaller. So
Okay.
there will be fewer 2-bedroom units, frankly, and more 1-bedroom units.
Okay, so there is still going to be one monolithic building, and I guess I would have to go back and look. There were height constraints and things of that nature, because this is up against Park.
It still fits the same box. It's that kind of last parking lot up on the corner.
Okay, all right. I am happy. We can resume the session. Any other questions regarding this particular one? Winokur?
No questions?
No questions? We're going to pick up the pace on making motions? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Do I hear a motion on the disposition of item number 11 on our agenda?
Winokur, motion to approve. Having reviewed the petition, considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition, I move that we recommend the approval. Petition number 2023-045 as it appears before us.
Second, Wilden.
It's been moved by Winokur and seconded by a very zippy Wilden. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That passes unanimously. We are on to item number 12 on our agenda, rezoning petition number 2023-069 by Raven Partners. And Dave, you will take us through this one yet again.
Yes, thank you. 2023-069 is 80 acres off of East Independence Boulevard, just on the other side of where Sardis Road North dead ends into Independence. It is zoned both N2B and N1B. The adopted place type does capture some of that N2 just along that frontage of Independence, but the majority of the site is neighborhood 1. There's a small piece of community activity center, and then you've got a lot of commercial uses on the other side of Independence Boulevard. The proposal is for all uses permitted by right and under prescribed conditions in N1, N2, both the N1 and N2B districts, and then the CG zoning district. Does illustrate a future right-of-way for Sardis Road and future Arqueepa Drive. Petitioner is noted to work with NCDOT and CDOT on the location of the east-west connection through the site. Greenway easements will be conveyed to Mecklenburg County prior to the issuance of the first CO for the site. The FEMA and community floodway areas will be dedicated and conveyed to Mecklenburg County Park and Rec for Irwins Creek Greenway for a multi-purpose pathway, and then the dedicated area would remain part of the open space and tree save calculations on the site. Petitioner would also provide public access and pedestrian connections to Irwins Creek Greenway for the internal public streets east of Arqueepa Extension, where access is appropriate based on topo, tree save areas, open space, et cetera. There is a 20-foot vegetative setback proposed along the northeastern property line. You can see that outlined in green up against the existing single family off of Meadow Lane and Lakeview Circle. That would be, again, a 20-foot vegetative setback. Notes proposed that may include existing vegetation or supplemental plantings or a combination of both, mainly to provide sufficient separation. Does illustrate a 50-foot swim buffer and 30 and 50-foot PCSO buffers on the site as well. There were some changes on this petition, mainly the communication. We learned after we provided the published agenda to y'all earlier this week. Folks still coming back in from holiday vacation. The Mecklenburg County Park and Rec outstanding issue has been satisfied. The note was fixed to their satisfaction, and we were made aware of that on Wednesday from Katie Lloyd with Park and Rec. So that outstanding issue is resolved. I think there is a new comment from Transportation that came as a result of the resubmittal, and that's really just add a development condition to reserve right away for all 4 legs of that future Sardis Road North. Looks like the plan reserves right away for 3 of the 4 legs, so just asking for that additional reservation for that intersection there. So again, the Park and Rec requests under environment have been addressed, so no longer outstanding. It's just that transportation item, which I believe should be able to be addressed prior to decision, but shouldn't have a significant impact on the overall site conditions for the project. So with that, I'll take any questions you may have.
Thank you, Dave. Any questions, comments about this particular petition? Commissioner Russell?
Yeah, I remember doing the public hearing, there was a big concern about the 20-foot buffer between essentially what is the Charlotte city line and the Matthews township line. And then, you look kind of directly over from that, they're giving a rather large easement in the wetland. But the concern for the neighbors on the Matthews side was that the buffer was too small. Has any consideration been given to widening that buffer from 20 feet to say 40 feet?
We haven't made any request for that. I think given the actual ordinance requirements, they wouldn't be required for a buffer in that location. I think they're providing it in the 20 feet voluntarily. So any addition to that would be at the petitioner's discretion. And I know that came up. I think they were asking for 30 feet at the hearing. So it's still reflected at 20. So the petitioner may need to elaborate as to where that request may stand and see if that is going to get an increase from 20 to 30 feet. But as it stands, it's still at 20.
And that is consistent with the zoning that they're going for, the 20-foot,
Yeah, the zoning actually, I don't believe would require a buffer at all because it'd be single family to single family. So anything that's provided would be beyond, which is why our request is, essentially silent because they're providing more than the ordinance. But the request, I think, at the hearing from the residents was consider that to be 30, at least 30 feet rather than 20. But it looks like we're still looking at 20 feet on the plans.
Okay, that you answered my question, because I do remember they were talking about adding single family homes in that development and they would go in that particular spot. So thank you for that reminder.
You good? Commissioner Lansdale.
This might be for CDOT. I know you can't speak for NCDOT, but can you talk about the impact of the U-2509 here on the project? I mean, is it real at $1 billion to come through, and where are we at on that process?
So with regards to the petition's reserving all areas and coordinating to accommodate the project. As far as the project completion date or schedule and cost, I don't have that information.
Thanks. And I think from the public hearing, was there going to be an entrance directly onto Independence?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Good, Terry. Anybody else got any questions? If not, do I hear a disposition for rezoning petition number 2023-069 from anybody? Item 12 on our agenda.
Commissioner Neely, motion to approve, having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff. To approve this petition, I move that we recommend approval of the petition number 2023-069 and the adoption of the consistency statement.
Do I have a second?
Second, Winokur.
It's been motioned by Neely and seconded by Winokur. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? That passes 7-0. On to item number 13 on our agenda, rezoning petition number 2023-076 by Discovery Development. And Dave, this is you again.
Here we go again. All right, 2023-076. It's 4.5 acres on Statesville Road, just south of 485. Zoned to N1B, lots of UR2 around it, as well as mud conditional and some OFC on the other side of Old Statesville. Place type for the petition is Neighborhood 2. You see we've got a pretty large community activity center slated, or at least proposed and recommended for the other side of Old Statesville. Most of the development around it is consistent with Neighborhood 2. It's a conventional petition to go to just that N2C district. So there's no associated site plan, no outstanding issues or conditions. We are recommending approval. It is consistent with the policy map, and we will take any questions you might have.
Thank you, Dave. Anybody got any questions on this? I will ask one. The petitioner's materials said that they were intending to put childcare here, Dave. N2C was the best fit for that in terms of zoning? And this is just an informational question for me going forward.
It is, I believe it is an allowed use in Neighborhood 2, and it may also give them the option to do some residential as well and be compatible with the other uses around it. So it may be a scenario where they carve out some space for one use and then leave the rest for some additional development under the N2C district. But it does look like, let me see if there's, childcare center is allowed under really all the N districts, N1A through N2C. It's allowed under prescribed conditions for a large childcare center, and adult care center and other childcare centers are allowed under prescribed conditions in all those districts as well. So it would be allowed in any of those neighborhood 1 or 2 districts. So they have the option to do that, or any of the other residential uses permitted.
Okay, all right. Anyone else got any questions, comments? Do I hear a motion for the disposition of item number 13 on our agenda, petition number 2023-076?
Lansdale to approve, having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition, or move that we recommend the approval of petition number 2023-076 as it appears before us, and the adoption of the consistency statement as it appears before us.
Second, Wilden.
It's been moved by Lansdale, seconded by Wilden. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That petition passes 7-0 with a little aria in there. We're on to item number 14 on our agenda, rezoning petition number 2023-083 by Nicole Frombach. Hopefully I did not put the emphasis on the wrong syllable there. Joe, will you take us through this one?
Thank you. This is approximately 0.4 acres located on the west side of Mayfair Avenue, south of Seymour Drive and north of Markland Drive, the West Boulevard corridor. The current zoning is N1C. Proposed zoning is N2B. 2040 policy map recommends neighborhood 1 place type for the site. Emma, could we go back to the zoning slide, please? Thank you. So the parcel on the northern half of the petition, it is split zoned. So you can see it's already developed with a quadplex unit and a triplex unit. Also to the south of the site, there's also I believe it's a quadplex on that N2B parcel. So while it's inconsistent, it kind of fills in a gap there. It gets that one parcel under one zoning district. So staff does recommend approval, and I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Joe. Does anyone have any questions, comments? If not, do I hear a motion for the disposition of item number 14, 2023-083?
Lansdale to approve, having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition, or move or recommend the approval of petition number 2023-083 as it appears before us, and the adoption of the consistency statement as it appears before us.
All right, do I have a second? It's been moved by Lansdale, seconded by Neely. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes 7-0. On to item number 15 on our agenda, rezoning petition number 2023-084 by Clacton. Hopefully I haven't botched that either. Clacton Properties. And this one will be Emma.
So this petition, hello. Sorry. This is 2023-084. It is approximately 1.682 acres located along the west side of Hawthorne Lane, north of Central Avenue, and east of Louise Avenue. The current zoning is ML2 and conditional, and the requested zoning is TOD-NC, Transit Oriented Development Neighborhood Center. The 2040 policy map calls for neighborhood center. And this is a conventional petition, therefore there is no associated site plan. This petition is consistent with the 2040 policy map. I will take any questions you might have.
Thank you, Emma. Do we have any questions from anyone regarding this petition? If not, do I hear a motion for the disposition of item number 14 or number 15 on our agenda, 2023-084?
Wilden, motion to approve, having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition. I move that we recommend approval of petition number 2023-084 as it appears before us.
Do I have a second?
Winokur, second.
It's been motioned by Wilden, seconded by Winokur. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That passes unanimously 7-0. Item number 16 on our agenda. It's the small things that make us happy. Rezoning petition number 2023-086 by Stephen Imo Bursteg. Hopefully I did not butcher that one either.
Probably, but we won't hold it against you.
Okay. Is Stephen in the room? Watch my back on the way out.
All right, so 2023-086, it's just under a half acre on Castleton. It's just north off Sharon Amity Road and west of Craig Avenue. It is currently zoned N1A. We did have a couple recent rezonings in the area, particularly one across the street to UR2 conditional. And we do have some R12 just to the south. It is neighborhood 1 for the adopted place type for this area. This is a conventional petition. The petitioner is requesting to go to N1D, N1C. And so that is consistent with the policy map recommendation. Staff does recommend approval. Again, it's conventional, so no outstanding issues, no conditions to consider. And we will turn it over to you for any questions.
Thank you, Dave. Do we have questions or comments from anybody on the commission? If not, do I hear a motion for the disposition of item number 16 on our agenda, 2023-086?
Motion Seeley, having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff, I approve this position. I move that we recommend approval of petition number 2023-086, as well as the adoption of the associated consistency statement as they appear before us.
Neely, second.
Boom shakalaka. Ed. It's almost like the Panthers completing a pass.
That never happened.
I'm sorry, a bad example there. It's been moved by Seeley and seconded by Neely. All those in favor of this petition, please say aye. Any opposed? That one passes unanimously. We're on to item number 17 on our agenda, rezoning petition number 2023-011 by 3000 Balcom Road LLC. And Max, you get to play.
Petition 2023-101 is located along the north side of Balcom Road, the northwest side of Wisdom Lane, and north of Mallard Creek Road. The site is approximately 1.7 acres and is currently undeveloped. The site is zoned O1 CD, office conditional. The proposed zoning is N2B, neighborhood 2, a conventional district. The 2040 policy map recommends the neighborhood 2 place type. The N2B is consistent with this place type. This is a conventional rezoning petition. There is not an associated site plan and would permit any use allowed in the N2B district. Staff recommends approval of this petition as the N2B district aligns with the policy map. The site is located within a short walking distance of a grocery store, variety of retail, medical office, institutional, recreational facilities, and 3 bus routes. Happy to take any questions.
Thanks, Max. Anybody got any questions, comments on this particular petition? If not, do I hear a motion for the disposition of item number 17 on our agenda, petition 2023-101?
Wilden, motion to approve, having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff. To approve this petition, I move that we recommend approval of 2023-101 as it appears before us.
Russell, second.
It's been moved by Wilden and seconded by Russell. All those in favor of this petition, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. That's 7-0. We're on to item number 18 on our agenda, rezoning petition number 2023-102 by TriPoint Homes Holdings. And Dave, you will take us through this one.
All right, thank you. 2023-102 is just over 9 acres off Lawyers Road. just south of Albemarle. It is currently zoned OFC. You can see we've got some N2, CG, and some N1 zoning districts in the general area. Adopted place type is for a neighborhood center at this location of Lawyers and Albemarle Road and Old Lawyers Road. This petition would start to facilitate the outcome for that neighborhood center by going to the neighborhood center zoning district, being that it is consistent with the adopted policy map. Staff did have this as a conventional petition, and we do recommend approval of it. Again, there's no site plan, no conditions, no outstanding issues, consistent with the policy map recommendation, and we will take any questions.
Thank you, Dave. Anyone have any questions, comments, concerns?
This might be for Jake. Just, questions about how we're going to be protecting this particular area for transportation issues. And this is a growing intersection through here. It's an important link in the connections to uptown. So just want to make sure that we're covered on this one. Feel good about this one as a conventional, if I may be in that way.
So because of the conventional nature, we don't have a real review to be able to perform. I'm not aware of any projects located across the frontage, but we would review the access location and most likely would line up. I think there's a single access point across the street, so it would align in that location. And depending on density or other factors, could require a CTR or turn lanes, et cetera.
Thank you for that. And I'll make a motion at the appropriate time.
Commissioner Lansdale, you got a motion for us?
Motion to approve, having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition. I move we recommend the approval of petition number 2023-102 and the adoption of as it appears before us, and the adoption of the consistency statement as it appears before us.
Neely, second.
It's been moved by Lansdale and seconded by Neely. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That passes 7-0. We're up to item number 19 on our agenda, rezoning petition number 2023-105 by MGM Group Managers, Inc. And Dave, I think you will take us through this one as well.
A full slate tonight. So 2023-105 is 0.83 acres on West Tybola Road, part of the same overall project that we just looked at on another petition. This is a separate petition, but still part again of that overall same project, I believe, out at City Park off of West Tybola and Spear Boulevard. This is that corner at West Tybola and Spear. As we know, it's all zoned mud optional in that general area. It is recommended on the policy map for a community activity center. This petition is conventional and would take it to that community activity center 1 zoning district. So staff, again, that being consistent with the policy map, was comfortable with the conventional petition on this corner here. A lot of the infrastructure improvements that were part of the overall project there have been made, at least along Spear, the frontages of Tybola, and those would be treated through permitting as applicable. But again, it's conventional, no outstanding issues, no site plan. Petition's consistent again with the policy map recommendation, and we will take questions that you may have. And just to clarify, CAC1 would not allow a drive-through facility, would allow an EDE, but would not allow a drive-through facility.
There you go.
Thank you, Dave. So there's not a drive-through there. Dave, can I ask, we had a petition earlier and Joe is gone. Weren't that petition earlier, didn't they have traffic light improvements at Spear and Tybola? Was that a part of that petition? So there will be a traffic light coming here. Okay, thank you. Yes.
Installation of a traffic signal at Tybola and Spear was part of 23012.
Okay.
So,
yeah, because I know that's just right. When you get there, you're pretty much up to speed that you want to have your high speed going.
Well,
and so it makes it, that would be dangerous, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So then we're going to stop you there.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, that would be part of the improvements under and it may be part of the improvements on the overall petition. They just carried that forward through that 23012 item. But yeah, it will get done at some point there at Tybola and Spear to have a traffic signal.
But these are different petitioners, so there's no no notion there's coordination there. Does anyone have any comments, questions about this one?
Motion at the appropriate time.
Commissioner Lansdale, let us have it.
Motion to approve, having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition, I move we recommend the approval of petition number 2023-105 as it appears before us, and the adoption of the consistency statement as it appears before us.
Russell second.
It's been moved by Lansdale and seconded by Russell. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Any opposed? That passes 7-0. We're up to item number 20 on our agenda, rezoning petition number 2023-108 by Beacon Partners. And Emma, this odd little configuration of pieces of land you will explain to us. It's all on you.
Thank you. This is petition 2023-108. It is approximately 8.6 acres located along the west side of Berry Hill Road, north of Freedom Drive, and east of Camp Green Street. The current zoning is ML1, and the requested zoning is IMU, Innovation Mixed Use. The 2040 policy map calls for innovation mixed use. This site is conventional, therefore there is no associated site plan, and it is consistent with the 2040 policy map recommendation for innovation mixed use. I will take any questions.
Thank you, Emma. Does anybody have any questions, comments on this? I'm going to have one. I know some other particular, is this related to some of the other parcels that were rezoned on Thrift Road there? I'm getting a head shake because there were some traffic milestones that were set into place when we were doing those rezonings on Thrift Road. And so I'm wondering if those are being triggered or not, or no, maybe nobody can tell me because I don't have a specific number.
That might be a CDOT question.
Yeah, I think that's different petitioner,
Different petition? Okay.
properties.
All right. I'm good then. Yeah, I just, as the area is developing, I know that these things will contribute to, and they have to be measured on their own because of the way we do things, blah, 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 blah. But I didn't know if this was adding to a cumulative project already in place.
Overall, the location and area has a lot of rezoning history, and it's
Yeah.
all starting to come together really well. So that's probably, everything looks a little similar to maybe the last rezoning that kind of happened. And
Yeah.
maybe that's kind of what is striking a familiar chord.
Okay, all right.
And I'll
You
just add that in the last set that you're referring to, it was a situation where it was the old ordinance, and we were tracking how those uses were changing for transportation reasons. And under the new UDO, we do have ability to require improvements during permitting if they do change to a transportation intensive use or other triggers like that.
Okay, thank you. You all make me look not like bright at all, so thanks for enlightening me. All right, does Commissioner Lansdale?
We've had, I guess the theme for tonight is these split parcels, so we split zonings for some of the things we're looking at, but I think you answered my question for J Street and just understanding that if the transportation intensity increases, that will be considered in the development stage. So motion at the appropriate time.
Commissioner Lansdale, please.
Motion to approve, having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition, I move that we recommend the approval of petition number 2023-108 as it appears before us, and the adoption of the consistency statement as it appears before us.
Second, Wilden.
It's been moved by Lansdale and seconded by Wilden. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes. We are on to item number 21 on our agenda, rezoning petition number 2023-109 by 123E27 LLC. Holly, it's been so long. We've missed you. Happy New Year.
Thank you. This site is a little under an acre along East 27th Street, north of the Blue Line and just west of the core of NODA, as you can see in the aerial image. Yeah. The site is currently zoned manufacturing and logistics 2, and they are requesting to go to innovation mixed use, which is consistent with the policy map's recommendation for innovation mixed use. It's a conventional petition, so we don't have a site plan for it. The site is located along the North Graham, North Tryon Street corridor of opportunity area, which aims to revitalize the area with a mix of uses that would service the nearby residents. So this rezoning would allow the site's entitlements to be shifted away from industrial uses to a more balanced mix of uses that better align with the corridors of opportunity program. The IMU district is intended to be applied in areas such as these, which formerly hosted industrial uses but are transitioning away to an array of commercial, residential, and artisan industrial uses. Staff recommends approval of this petition, and I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Holly. Does anyone have any questions, comments? If not, do I hear a motion for the disposition of this item?
Lansdale to approve, having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition, I move that we recommend the approval of petition number 2023109 as it appears before us, and the adoption of the consistency statement as it appears before us.
Russell, second.
It's been moved by Lansdale and seconded by Russell. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. We're up to item number 22 on our agenda, rezoning petition number 2023-110 by Savalek Homes. Savalex. Please accept my apologies because I'm just a poor boy. No, that's a song. I'm sorry. Max, would you please take us through this?
Petition 2023-110 is located along the east side of Susanna Drive, north of Hart Road and west of Roswell's Ferry Road. The site is approximately 1.8 acres and is the site of a single-family house. Property is zoned N1A, Neighborhood 1. Proposed zoning is N1D, Neighborhood 1, conventional zoning district. 2040 policy map recommends the Neighborhood 1 place type. The N1D district is consistent with the Neighborhood 1 place type. This is a conventional rezoning petition. There's not an associated site plan. Would allow for any use in the N1D zoning district. Staff recommends approval of this petition. So the N1D district aligns with the policy map and redevelopment pattern prescribed by the N1 place type and permitted by the N1D district is consistent with the character of this area. I'm happy to take any questions at this time.
Thank you, Max. Do we have any questions from anyone? If not, do I hear a motion for the disposition of rezoning petition number 2023-110?
Ms. Russell to approve, having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition. I move that we recommend approval of petition number 2023-110 as it appears before us and the adoption of the consistency statement as it appears before us.
Winokur, second.
It's been moved by Russell and seconded by Winokur. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That passes unanimously. We're on to item number 23 on our agenda, rezoning petition number 2023-115 by East Group Properties LP. Emma, would you please take us through this?
So you can quote Queen, but not Taylor Swift.
I am
you?
Freddie Mercury inside.
I see.
Yeah, I'm a geezer.
Sorry, I had to, you said it, you set yourself up. Anyway, this is petition 2023-115. It is approximately 5.716 acres located along the north side of Entrance Drive and the east side of Gable Road, south of Shopton Road. The current zoning is I1 conditional with airport noise overlay, airport noise disclosure overlay, and the requested zoning is ML1 with the airport noise disclosure overlay. The 2040 policy map calls for manufacturing and logistics. This is a conventional site and it is consistent with the 2040 policy map. I will take any questions you might have.
Thank you, Emma. Does anyone have any questions, comments? Commissioner Russell.
Just a quick question, maybe just a point of clarification, but on our agenda here, it says the proposed zoning is N1D, not ML.
I thank you for that.
Oh.
One.
Is that a cut and paste error?
It is, the proposed zoning is ML1. I do believe on the agenda for 115. It is a typo.
Okay. All right. Any other questions, comments? Dear, a motion for the disposition of item number 23, petition number 2023-115.
Winokur moved to approve, having reviewed the petition, considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition. I move that we recommend approval of petition number 2023-115 as it appears before us.
Russell second.
It's been motioned by Winokur and seconded by Russell. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That passes. We're on to item number 24 on our agenda, petition number 2023-116 by Stanley Martin Holmes. Emma, would you please give us the lowdown?
Yeah, we can shake off that little mistake, you know. Thank you. Thank you. Mic drop. I'll go now. 2023-116 is approximately 10.003 acres located along the west side of Steel Creek Road, north of Long Talon Way, and south of Hamilton Road. The current zoning is N1A, and the proposed requested zoning is N2A. The 2040 policy map calls for neighborhood 2. This is a conventional petition, and it is consistent with the 2040 policy map. I will take any questions you might have.
Thank you, Emma. Anybody else got any questions, comments? If not, do I hear a motion for the disposition of item number 24 on our agenda?
Lansdale to approve. Having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition, I move we recommend the approval of petition number 2023-116 as it appears before us, and the adoption of the consistency statement as it appears before us.
Neely, second.
It's been moved by Lansdale and seconded by Neely. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes unanimously. We're up to item number 25 on our agenda, rezoning petition number 2023-119 by Lockstar LLC. And Holly, you will take us through this one.
Thank you. This site is just over half an acre along the east side of North Graham Street and the north side of Cannon Avenue. And as you can see in the aerial image, it's not on a large tract of residential development. If we want to just go to the aerial image, sorry, Emma. So it's not situated among a large tract of residential development. And this portion of North Graham Street is really dominated by a lot of industrial commercial uses that have smaller pockets of residential areas interspersed between those. The site is currently zoned neighborhood 1B, and the petitioner is requesting to go to neighborhood 2A. The policy map calls for neighborhood 1, so this petition is inconsistent with that recommendation. It is a conventional petition, so there's no associated site plan. Staff believes that given the adjacent commercial and industrial uses to this site, a rezoning for this parcel to neighborhood 2 district would not be very disruptive to the residential area that it's in. Additionally, moderate intensification is appropriate on corner lots such as this. And for those reasons, and because this is a request for the least intense neighborhood 2 district, we believe that although inconsistent with the policy map, this request is appropriate. Staff recommends approval of this petition, and I'll take any questions.
Do we have any questions, comments from the? Not, do I hear a motion for disposition number 25-115?
Wilden, motion to approve, having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition. I move that we recommend approval of petition number 2023-119 as it appears before us.
Second, Seeley.
That's been properly motioned by Wilden and seconded by Seeley. All those in favor of the petition or the motion, please say aye. And those opposed? That's none, so that passes 7-0. We will thank the petitioner for hanging out with us for a long time. This is the kind of fun we have. All right. Item number 26 on our agenda, rezoning petition 2023-121 by Christian Brothers Automotive. Joe, this is you.
Thank you. This is approximately 1.72 acres located on the west side of Steel Creek Road, south of Shopton Road, and north of Interstate 485. Current zoning is CG. The requested zoning is CGCD. The 2040 policy map recommends commercial place type. So the request is consistent. The specific use of a minor vehicle repair facility requires a conditional zoning according to the UDO. So it is a conditional zoning with simple list of development standards that says it limits the use of the site to a minor vehicle repair facility. Staff recommends approval, and I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Joe. By minor, do we mean this is only cars driven by people who are under 18?
I think it's just many cars.
Okay.
Very small.
One always has to question the use of adjectives. All jokes aside, do I hear any questions, comments from the commission? If not, do I have a disposition for item number 26 on our agenda, petition number 2023-121?
Motion to approve, Sealy. Having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition, I move that we recommend approval of petition number 2023-121, as well as the adoption of the associated consistency statement as they both appear before us.
Second, Neely.
Boom shakalaka. For the second time tonight, we get the Sealy to Neely combo. Has been properly. It has been properly moved by Sealy and seconded by Neely, and provided much entertainment. All those in favor of this motion, please say aye. And those opposed? So that is passed 7-0. And we are near the end, people. Item number 27 on our agenda at 7:29. Rezoning petition number 2023-141 by Fifth Third Bank. And Holly, you have the privilege of closing us out tonight.
Sorry.
It's only appropriate.
Is that a Taylor Swift song I'm supposed to?
I actually just noticed that recently, but that's okay.
Imagine my confusion when we had an annexation on Mount Holly, and that was a great time too.
This site is just under a half acre along the Betty's Ford Road in an area that is dominated by commercial uses that service the nearby residents. The site is currently zoned neighborhood center, and that's as a result of the West End Pedscape overlay, which automatically translated the previous B1 zoning on June 1st, 2023 to neighborhood center. The proposed zoning is for general commercial conditional. This proposal is inconsistent with the policy map recommendation for neighborhood center. The proposal itself would allow for general commercial uses, but specifies that drive-through lanes and circulation would not be placed between Betty's Ford Road and the front facade of the building. Additionally, since the public hearing, changes were made to add conditional notes, including that the accessory drive-through service uses shall be located along the northern facade of the building and including that the drive-through lanes and circulation shall not be placed between Betty's Ford Road and the front facade of the building, and that accessory drive-through service uses shall be located along the northern facade of the building and service lane. And it also added that a plaza and green space area will be located between the building and Betty's Ford Road. Staff recommends approval of this petition. The site is located within the Betty's Ford Rosless Ferry Road Corridor of Opportunity. Again, as I mentioned previously on another petition, the Corridors of Opportunity programs aims to revitalize areas with a mix of uses that would provide resources to the adjacent neighbors. Additionally, this area was studied in the Corridors of Opportunity Workforce Analysis, which was done in 2021, and that found that there are more residents in this area that work in the business and finance industry than there are jobs for that sector in this corridor. And it was also noted that the vast majority of residents within the corridor work outside of the community. So this rezoning for general commercial uses would help provide job opportunities to the community and would help facilitate a small but beneficial mitigation to the outflow of labor in the area. In addition to the workforce analysis, there was another study that was done. It was called the Urban Maine Transformation Strategy Report. And that recommended targeting the corridor with a concerted effort towards creating more spaces that offer neighborhood goods and services that would benefit the community. I'd note that it's also relevant that the proposed commercial district aligns with the adjacent uses, as well as the historical uses of the site and the historical entitlements of the site when it was zoned B1. So unlike previous legacy districts, however, this commercial zoning district and the petition build in preferred standards for drive-through facility design. And there are no more outstanding issues since the changes to the site plan, and I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Holly. Do we have any questions? Commissioner Wilden?
Can we go back to that? Yeah. I'm just trying to see, so I live less than a mile from here. So what I'm wondering is where is the stoplight? I know where one is. So where's the closest stoplight to this?
Is it gonna be north?
I think it's north.
It's north and the south?
Gilbert, yeah.
Yeah, so I just have I'm just saying, turning left is literally impossible. And so I just have like some traffic concerns about this. Also, I have to deal with it daily. So I'm just kind of like, this is not gonna be fun. Oh, and I know someone else who probably also has those concerns that I want to talk to. He's down there.
Okay. Are you done expressing your concerns?
Yeah.
More concerns?
But also the Buzz City Bar and Grill is really good. It just opened. Anyways.
Okay.
It's down there at the bottom.
All right. That's fine. Commissioner Lansdale, did you have any comments you wanted to contribute?
I need to give some feedback on this particular zoning. For me, what was stated at the petitioner at the dais was not reflective of some of the communications I got from the neighborhood. So I appreciate the conditions that were attached to this site. There are some transportation and usage issues associated with this. The curious thing that was read by Holly next to Holly Street was that, and I know it wasn't your words, it was from a report, but there are many people who work in the banking field than there were jobs in the banking field. So that implies that they're already working in the banking field. It's very confusing to me.
So yeah, it's saying that the area has a lack of business and finance jobs in that area. So the outflow of labor is greater than it should ideally be.
It just, the way it rolled off the tongue was confusing to me, but thank you very much.
Anyone else? Holly, I have a question. There was not a site plan with this, and I mean, it's got a CD after it, but I recognize that there was also corridors of opportunity in there and other stuff. So I'm assuming that's why there wasn't a site plan.
Yeah, I apologize. I said changes to the site plan, but these are development standards.
Okay, yeah, because the
this one
development
is
standards are like just a couple of lines in the document that's here, I think.
Yeah, we wanted to keep it a little bit more flexible, but also build in those preferred standards for drive-through facilities.
Okay.
We didn't see a need for a full on-site plan here.
Okay, I mean, and if I recall correctly, and Commissioner Wilden, there's like 2 banks right there already.
There's 4, maybe.
There are 4 banks? I'm behind.
That's why I'm struggling with this, because I'm like,
Okay.
3 literally just opened up within the last 6 months.
Okay, okay. I know the TD and the Chase. Okay.
There's a really good coffee shop called Archive. Amazing.
All right, I know that archive. Okay.
It's so good.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions, comments? Well, I mean, this is a corridor of opportunity, and is it also an opportunity zone adventure? Is this in the opportunity zone that's on that side of town?
For the corridors of opportunity?
No,
Sorry,
the federal opportunity zone.
Gosh, I don't have that map pulled up on me.
They just got a federal grant.
Okay.
It's like a $2 million grant.
All right, that's fine. I mean, that just would suggest why some development was motivated to be in the area. Does anyone else have any other questions? If not, we could hear a motion for the disposition of item number 27, petition number 2023-141. Do I hear a motion?
Sealy, I'm going to motion to approve. Having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition, I move that we recommend approval of petition number 2023-0141, as well as the adoption of the associated consistency statement as they both appear before us.
Is there a second?
Neely, second.
What would Marv Albert say right now? Anyway, who's that? Oh God, I'm feeling so old. That motion has been made properly by Sealy and seconded by Neely. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We have a nay. And Terry, would you share your nayness?
Sure. The motion or the lack of agreement with the approval for this petition is that the petition is inconsistent with the 24 policy map recommendation for a neighborhood center for the use for this parcel. Thank you.
All right. Is that enough for you, Holly? All right, everyone. Thank you for coming back to this lovely place for whatever this is we do here, this zoning work session. Hope everybody had a happy new year, and we will call this